Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. For today's video, I'm going to be predicting the next 5 NBA champions. So, as we go through this video, basically what I did was I set up like a tier list type of thing, and we have the 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026, and 2027 NBA champions. For each tier, I'm going to be picking 3 to 4 teams. I think we just picked one team. We wouldn't really be doing justice to the greatly ran organizations. Also, keep in mind, too, I cannot predict the future. Like, I don't know which players in the upcoming drafts are going to boom or bust. I don't know if players are going to request trades, if guys are going to have injuries, have that be career-ending, God forbid, or just injuries that make players not the same that they are right now, right? So yes, if you don't like my reasonings or you think somebody else should be listed, please let me know in the comment section below. Remember, man, this is just a basketball discussion. We're having fun up in here, right? Like, I learned just as much from you guys as you guys learn from me at times too, so it's all fun and games. With that being said, too, if you can please smash that like button before the anger sets in. Okay, yo, man. What do we got here, man? 2004 Detroit Pistons, baby. You all know I set it up that way on purpose, but okay. Let's start with 2023. I have 3 teams listed for this tier that I think can win the championship. And yes, there could be more, but these are just like 3 highly, in my mind, that could win it. The first team is being the LA Clippers. I understand Kawhi Leonard load manages and has a big injury history. Same with Paul George. But if we're talking completely healthy teams, I just look at last season and looking at some of the players that really had to step up in the absence of Kawhi Leonard, and those guys are now being asked to be role players. And just the confidence from last season going to this season and having Kawhi and Paul George healthy, like, it's going to be good, man. I absolutely am ecstatic for the LA Clippers this season. John Wall's looking good, wishing him nothing but the best. I really want to see him get a championship ring. So the Clippers are one of my 3 teams. Next up, I do have listed here is the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, a big reason they got knocked out of the playoffs, we all know it's because Chris Middleton's injury. I think that Giannis and Chris Middleton are the best duo in the NBA. I'm not saying the most talented, but I'm just talking about 2 guys that work nicely together. It's right there, man. So yes, Giannis losing last year, he's the type of guy that I think really holds on to those types of grudges very deeply, and I think he's gonna be coming on full force. Plus, you know, Drew Holiday busting threes in the preseason and everything, looking really good too. Gonna be a very dangerous squad as always. And then my third team that I really think has a great chance this season is the Philadelphia 76ers, man. I think Tyrese Maxey is going to be an all-star and the most improved player on the season. James Harden's coming into the season looking in shape. Joel Embiid, you know, a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. Hopefully that leads to a championship on his shoulder. Hold on, I don't know why you put on your shoulder. You know what I mean, though. And getting PJ Tucker, I just like this 76ers team. Yes, there is some faults to it. It is definitely a risky pick here. I think the safest pick out of these 3 teams is the Milwaukee Bucks. 76ers just because, like, chemistry and injuries, and, you know, the Clippers because of injuries. But these are 3 teams I got listed here, man, okay? All right. 2024. I have 4 teams listed right here for it, man. The first team I'm going to go with is the Boston Celtics. The reason I don't have the Celtics listed for this current season is just because, you know, the coaching stuff I think is a thing. Robert Williams is injured again. I just think this team needs one season to come together, get chemistry locked down with the coaching staff and everything. And, you know, they got some new pieces on their team. Getting back to the finals is really tough to do in the first place. So I just think one little, like, reset season, and the season after they're coming full on charge, man. And like I said, it's very well a team that can get back to the finals too. Like, I'm not denying that whatsoever, okay? Next up, I do have the Dallas Mavericks. I think the Mavericks are going to be interesting this season, but I don't think they made enough moves to really set up Luka for championship success. I think that can come in the form of next NBA offseason. Maybe they get a guy like a Jaylen Brown. I don't really know, man. But, you know, I like Christian Wood. He's fine. I just think they got to find that next, like, all-star option next to Luka Doncic. So hopefully they do that next offseason. And they'll be, you know, primed to make a championship run. Another team we have listed here is going to be, once I find them on my list, is the Denver Nuggets. Kind of the same thing as the Boston Celtics, where I just think they need this one season to really lock things down, you know, with some of the injuries of the past. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter, you know, give them a season to really get things going. And I think the following year playing with Jokic, who obviously is playing MVP caliber basketball, you know, back-to-back MVPs. Maybe he gets a third one. I don't really know. And yeah, you just think eventually that Denver team with Jokic playing that MVP caliber basketball has to at least get to the finals. And I think 2024 is a good season to do that. All right, this next one is kind of a crazy pick, but I am listing the Los Angeles Lakers. And the only reason I say that is because Russell Westbrook will be gone. They'll have some cap space to sign some free agents. And it just seems like it needs to happen for the end of LeBron's career. I think LeBron has one more ring in him. And I think if there's any season to do that, it's going to be the 2024 season. I don't think he does it this season. I just don't trust that roster. I think having an off season to really put the right guys around LeBron James, get themselves in a better financial situation, I think does it. And, you know, there's a fifth team I think I might want to list here. And I know 2024, I'm kind of going all over the place with it, but I did not have them listed on any of my other picks. I have to put them right here, man. And that is going to actually be the Miami Heat. For some reason, I blanked on them. Another team that I think could also maybe do it in 2023. You know what? Let me go with 2023 for the Miami Heat. Bam Adebayo, you know, is good. I think could be Defensive Player of the Year. Jimmy Butler playing prime basketball. Tyler Hero healthy, ready to go. I think 2023 is good for them. Okay, I want to put the Heat somewhere, so yeah, just kind of adding them on towards the tail end here. Next up, we have the 2025 NBA champions. And all three of these teams are similar, kind of for the same reason. The first one we're going to go with is the Memphis Grizzlies. I just think that they have a few seasons to go through of some, you know, just a few little growing pains as far as maybe like losing a series here or there in the playoffs. But I think 2025, everybody healthy, everybody in their prime. At that point, they probably have some different type of center from Steven Adams, who did sign a 2-year extension, which I do like Steven Adams. I just think maybe there's some room for improvement there. John Morant's gonna be, you know, playing for an MVP at that point too, like he is kind of right now. Desmond Bane, I think, makes an all-star appearance by then. And I just love the makeup of the Memphis Grizzlies, man. Like, just a good young team that I think has a few growing pains to go through before they win a championship. Kind of similar to the Boston Celtics. I thought they kind of went through the same path of, wow, like, yeah, this team each season just gets better and better. I think that's the Memphis Grizzlies by 2025. Another one I have is the Cleveland Cavaliers. So this is the team that can win it within the next 2 seasons. But I think that third season is when you're really locked into, you know, Donovan Mitchell's prime. You know, Evan Mobley, Darius Garland are going to be entering their primes too. Darius already an all-star, but by then he's going to be playing really, really top-notch basketball. Love Jared Allen on the squad. You know, maybe by then Isaac Okoro is really playing to his draft potential, I should say, being that optimal 3-and-D type of guy. So I have them as 2025 NBA champions for that reason. And then finally for 2025, I do have the, where we at? The Minnesota Timberwolves. And that's just because I think by then Anthony Edwards is the best shooting guard in the NBA. And I'm talking about over Devin Booker, man. I'm talking about, you know, over James Harden. I guess he's technically a point guard now and everything, man. I'm talking about over Klay Thompson. I think by 2025, Ant-Man is the best shooting guard. And at that point, I think Gobert's going to be about 32. You know, Cat's going to have a few seasons at that power forward spot. Maybe D'Lo is playing a little bit more efficient at that point too. Maybe they just have a whole new point guard altogether. McDaniels, you love his potential at that small forward spot, being, you know, a 6'10 stretch kind of big right there. So that is my third and final team for 2025. Next up, we have the 2026 NBA champions, and I'm actually going to list all 4 of these teams at the same time so I can kind of group them all together as far as conversation goes. Houston Rockets, Detroit Pistons, Toronto Raptors, and the Orlando Magic. And what do all 4 of these teams have in common? They have drafted amazingly over the past few seasons. That 2021 draft class, so many great, I think that's one of the best draft classes of all time. I think what's all said and done, 2021 can be one of the best draft classes of all time. You know, you got Jalen Green on the Rockets, Cade on the Pistons, Scotty Barnes on the Raptors, Jalen Suggs, we got to see more out of him still on the Orlando Magic. Even Franz Wagner, you got to list him off, right? Like, if not Suggs, you have Wagner that played great from that draft class. You know, none of those teams were particularly great last season. With the exception of the Raptors, you know, Scotty was drafting to a really good situation, but with the Rockets, Pistons, and Magic, it's like they already drafted good, and then they drafted great again. Jabari Smith, Jalen Ivey, and Duren, and Paolo Banchero to the Magic. And like I said, Scotty Barnes, Rookie of the Year, already drafted to a really good situation. By 2026, he's going to be in his prime and everything too. Set up to win an NBA championship. I thought that was pretty good reasoning for all 4 of these teams. And then 2027... I have 3 teams listed, which might come off as kind of shocking in this case, but I'm going to explain why. San Antonio Spurs, Utah Jazz, and where are we at, man? The OKC Thunder. And you might already catch on to why I think this could happen. And that is simply because Victor Wembanyama or Scoot Henderson. You know, all three of these teams are going to be set up to tank this upcoming offseason. They're going to end up getting one of those guys. And I think by that point, you know, that's 5 seasons into their careers. They are as great and generational type of talents as we are being told. Then you think by then one of those teams or one of those players would win an NBA championship. So let me go ahead and actually make another quick tier here, man. Let's go with add row below, and let's go with not listed. And I'm going to maybe explain a little bit why. So not listed, or I guess maybe like where they could potentially still. MBT listed. Perfect, man. My spelling is great. Okay, so I don't have the Atlanta Hawks listed. I still very well think they could win one. Like, I'm not trying to hate on the Hawks. I think DeJounte and Trae Young is actually going to work out. Now, Okongwu, I like him and his come up and everything. And I think by one of these seasons, he'll be the starting center. John Collins, I like a lot. So I don't have them listed in here. That's just because I was trying to keep it at 3 to 4 teams. But realistically, I think they could probably win it by 2024, 2025. Brooklyn Nets, I don't have them listed because Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, I think, are going to be here for one more season. I think they're going to be gone. At least, I think Kyrie's going to be gone for sure. I think that, and I don't know if I mentioned that with the Lakers. Did I mention with the Lakers why I think they could be champions? I don't know if I actually did that or not. I think they're going to get some big name free agents in next offseason. I think one of those guys might be Kyrie Irving. I don't know if I even said that. Maybe not. Chicago Bulls, I don't have listed. I think maybe that's just because I don't trust DeMar DeRozan all too much as far as winning a championship. I like Levine. Patrick Williams, I think, could still be a great player. Lonzo Ball's injury makes me nervous, so I would say a lot of uncertainties with the Chicago Bulls, but another team that I think could get a big name free agent eventually. Charlotte Hornets, I actually need to make a correction here and put them with 2027. That's very much a team that's in the running for Victor Wembanyama, and him with LaMelo Ball can win a championship. We'll put it right there. Pelicans. I didn't have them listed. I think maybe I'm not a big believer in the total makeup of the positionless basketball that is their team. But if I were to have them win it, I would say they could probably do it by 2025. I'm cool with that, you know. Maybe 2026, one of those years. New York Knicks, I don't have them listed as far as winning a championship. You know, people joke around, call them the mid-3, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Jalen Brunson. And while I don't think they're a mid-3, I just don't know if I have that be in the makeup of my team winning a championship. Although Obi Toppin's looking pretty good. What's his name? I forgot his name, man. Quentin Grimes could end up really being solid too, given the chance. But for now, I don't have him listed. Portland Trail Blazers, I like Shaedon Sharpe. Damian Lillard, though, I just don't know if he's ever going to get one in Portland, man, so I don't have him listed. Indiana Pacers, honestly, I could have them in 2027. And they can make a run at Victor also. I like Tyrese Halliburton. Benedict Mathurin looks like he'd be a future star. 2027, I think, is pretty realistic. I think they're a season behind the likes of the 2026 teams. Sacramento Kings, once again, very talented roster. Sabonis is cool. De'Aaron Fox had a great end to the season, was averaging nearly 30 points per game. Keegan Murray, looks like a great, maybe potential 20-point per game scorer through the duration of his career. I just don't have him win the championship, man. Sometimes that's just it. I just don't have him win the championship. Phoenix Suns, I thought this previous season was their season to do it. For me to have them listed here, I think they need to get the locker room in check. I think they need to find their point guard replacement with Chris Paul eventually. And DeAndre Ayton might be traded. Like, he could be traded by the trade deadline, assuming he wants to be, has a year to reject it, of course. And then the Golden State Warriors. I'm going to list them maybe in 2025, I guess. And the reason I will say with them, I had them originally not listed, and that's just because I think there's going to be this weird transition period with the team. Maybe James Wiseman ends up playing like that top pick. Maybe Kuminga and Moody are just part of that next window. Jordan Poole stays with the team, man. It's just, I think there's a lot of uncertainties with the Golden State Warriors. But to say Curry can't get another ring, I think is kind of blasphemous. But for now, I have him not listed, and I'm going to say I'm blasphemous. And then not listed also, final team, Washington Wizards. Nothing against them as a squad. I just don't like the foundation of what they have as far as winning a chip. Not saying they can't be a good team in the Eastern Conference, just don't really have them as a championship team, man. So, man, the Warriors, though, Draymond's going to be gone. Man, I think the Warriors could do it again by 2025. I think they could. Yeah, I think they could. Because I think this season they don't do it. I think it's going to be a little bit of a disappointing season, maybe. Not disappointing, but I just don't think they're going to win the championship in 2023. 2024, I think, is going to be a transitional year, kind of like what I was saying with some of the other teams. And then 2025, I can see him winning another one after figuring things out. So that's all we have, guys. This is kind of off the top of my head here. I had a few of these teams listed, obviously, but I want to at least give reasonings for all of them. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, I don't have... Sorry, I just noticed I didn't actually have this tier listed here. There we go. That looks a little bit better. So I was kind of rambling on there for some of the parts, but it's all good. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.